The time has finally come, and we are beginning a new series. I've been really itching to play this one for a while now. We are starting a Let's Play of Citizen Sleeper. The first one, if that makes any difference to you. You can probably see here it says that Citizen Sleeper 2 announced. I think actually it might already be out, to be honest. I got this game like on the cheap last year as kind of like one of the games I wanted to play for the channel, but between like Holodeck Hour and How Long, Hellslave and Ghostwire Tokyo took kind of knocked me off pace, but we're getting to it now. I only know very little of this game. I know it's a kind of a it's more of a storytelling game, I think. It's definitely an RPG in the sense, but I've just heard it's like this incredible story. This kind of is what I wanted to play after Hellslave, but Xanadu Next was calling my name too. So I think this is in the realm. I don't know too much about it. I'm sure I'll make a ton of mistakes. We're just going to be playing this good old-fashioned style right off the menu. So let's dive in. I know it's like a little bit cyberpunky, so you can probably tell by this artwork immediately. Yeah, I really don't know too much. Let's see what we got here. We've got to pick our class. Machinist. Repairs and modifies automated systems used in industrial resource extraction. Diligent, careful, and structured people. Works with machines, digital interfaces. I think the only difference is they get like this little perk and then they get some of these stats. Works with drones and high-precision remote machines to perform complex tasks. Cerebral and precise. Extractors work in hard vacuum environments. Dice action allows for recovery. They've got more endure, less intuit. They've got more interface and less endure. And more engineer and less engage. If I'm looking at this art most of the time, I think I like the machinist. I don't know what these skills necessarily do, but that's where we're going to kick it off. Machinist is. The vibe so far is pretty cool. All right, here we go. So yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of reading, so get ready for story time. All right, so we got our items. We got our credits. No data so far. Oh man, this is definitely giving me like homeworld vibes. I know it's a space. There's space in the game, which says nothing, but I believe it's kind of like a spacey sim RPG novel thing. We'll find out. The first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect, the delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting, minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. It's at its worst when waking, when yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that it was indisputably yours. Interesting. So we don't know where we are. I just woke up. Let's think of that body. A leap into a cold lake on a hot day, the sting of blood welling up from a fresh wound, the friction of a fingertip. All of a sudden, the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach, until you can't tell one from the other. The cold slips in behind you and around you, and the sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dull nature of this new body, given your current circumstances. The walls of the container immediately feel present, cold, hard at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now there are thousands of them. Interesting. Let's remember the plan. You most remember that it wasn't a good plan, but then your options were limited. And once you got the itch to get out, by any means possible, it was either that plan or something much worse. It was at least simple. Collapse the shaft, drift away in the chaos, slip into cargo processing, seal yourselves into containers, and then hope the freighter left before you were missed. Okay, so we were asleep in some sort of container doing some sort of space heist or something? Some were lost in the shaft. Others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers. But the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even if, in the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reached any destination. Let's try to rest. But you are restless. It has been a long time since you left, surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body has still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. It's feeling like we're a cyborg. You have spent much of that time asleep, enduring that anything else would be impossible to endure. Knowing that anything else would be possible to endure. You feel the weight of the impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge into this false body, delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. Time passes, the cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth, not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from rigor, sound too everywhere, screeching and shimmering so loud your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Then light, white as cold. Softer and softer until a haze of dirty yellow. A figure appears. You are out. All right, here we go. Okay. Dragos. Pragmatic salvager. Okay. It's been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from your container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard. Dragos looking frickin' ready to go, dude. That's how I'm going to look when I get older. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. So he's a pragmatic and private salvager. You are surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. So, sleeper, you all thawed yet? Pragmatic and private salvager. We'll say almost. Be a little goofy. Never seen one you come in like this. New frames must have better perseverance in Sub-Zero vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside-outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech. His headset, with its glinting eyes, mark the drone. Gosh, I'm going to be struggling this entire time. Get ready, y'all. With its glinting eyes, the mark of a drone operator. On a shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drone perches. Its irising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he's just figuring out what to do with you. So he clearly knows about us. We were kind of like locked away in something, and he's cutting us open. Let's ask what happened to our friends. He ignores your question. I want to ask what led you to do it, to sell yourself to a corporation. And I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now, and you are just software. A rogue emulation, illegally possessing corporate property. Very interesting, getting like Ghost in the Shell vibes. You nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells, the promise of a life off-world. But as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are the things you know, but not the things you feel. You are no longer that person. You are an offshoot, a copy. All right, so somebody did like a hard drive replace of our brain into a cyborg. That's kind of cool. What you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. SNRP wants to protect their property, but if they can't keep hold of you, well, then no one can. You remember that too, or at least rumors of it from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence, a built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins to shut down, separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? But for now, sleeper, you are one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances open away, towards the glassy dome of the yard. The eye is the best place you could be right now. The eye. The station, you'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with. He trails off. There's an old freighter container I've been using as storage on the racks, out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you are welcome to it. Something wells up inside of you. Emotion, fatigue. You shakily get up to your feet. Alright, you head on up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Drago stalks back into the Rex, his drones already converging on a rusting hulk. Plasma flashes, silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. Alright, so he just cracked us open from the shell. We sold our body to some sort of corporation, and then they kicked our can with the clone on it out into the universe. Looks like we've got picked up by some sort of scrapper. Alright, welcome to Erlin's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to other characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container. Location to rest and end the cycle now. Alright, so we're here. You're home for now. We got our character, a little bit of skills and upgrade points. Looks like, yeah, it's just a lot of narrative driven. Very cool. I guess we have some items and some data too. Per cycle, energy, condition. All cycles need to end. Rest and prepare for the next one. Ain't that the truth, brother? You wake curled in the corner of the container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its message is readable but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. 4 steel walls. Yeah, the vibes are absolutely immaculate. This music is, I can already tell, going to be fire. Here you are on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? Why would we have sold ourselves, right? Why would we have agreed to this? Was our life just really bad? Do we want to get away from somewhere? Let's say building a life. Let's be a little hopeful. Maybe you did get lucky finding yourself here. Maybe here, on the edge of everything, there's a life for you to build. But before you can build anything, you'll need to learn to survive. Maybe if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Dragos has a few comforts in the container: the blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove. Oh man, listen to that frickin' those drums coming in, man. I'm gonna have to listen to this with full stereo on. And some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You thumb the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring, like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin, a constellation of bright, polygonal shapes, like angular suns, burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it's long after you've finished drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Sounds like me every morning, man. Alright, so condition, action, dice, and energy. Condition. Your condition represents the current state of your artificial body. Depletes by 1 segment each cycle, but also be damaged by violence, injury, or lack of food. True. If your condition bar empties, you will suffer a breakdown. You'll have to figure out how to recover your condition now that you no longer have access to corporate pharmaceuticals that were keeping you alive. Okay, so we did break the chain. So 1 is your condition. This is that orange bar up here. 2 is these dice. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. The number of dice rolled is based on your current condition. Okay, just that bar up here. The worse your condition, the fewer dice you have. Okay. Once you have used your dice, you cannot take any further actions and must recover them, ending the current cycle. Interesting. And then your energy. You'll also need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but first you'll have to find somewhere to get food. Your energy depletes by 2 segments each cycle. Okay. If it becomes empty, you'll become starving. When starving, energy loss becomes condition loss, and your condition will also deplete at double as per cycle. Okay. Interesting. So almost kind of feeling like a traditional tabletop RPG where you kind of roll to pick your actions and stuff like that. That sounds really cool. I'm super into that type of stuff. So these I can't do much with. That's because of my condition, and I have to eat something. Yeah, because if I lose 2 per day, I'm going to chomp that up. Dragos is standing in the corridor when you close up the container. He's still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it's implanted. Oh, jeez. A drone sits on his shoulder, its cache of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? Let's say okay. The drone chirps. Good to hear. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. Okay. I know the container isn't much, but I'll keep you safe, he pauses. So, I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? What do you mean work? Look, I'll be honest with you, Sleeper. I didn't pull you out of the container for the goodness of my heart. He looks away. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old holes down, sell them off to shipheads or the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally, we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper, you'll be used to manual labor. And obviously, I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. Chits? These. He pulls out a handful of small metal bars. Air-walled cryo, isolated from the market. It's what we use for trade out here. He stuffs them in a back pocket. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this, and in my opinion, you'd best be suited moving on as quick as you can. And sleepers, well... He trails off. With things being the way they are on the yard, he pauses. I need the help. Why? Things are a little tight, that's all. I owe a little cryo to a client here or there, he pauses. Thinking of something else to add it. Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Will do, we say. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. All right. Dragger's yard. That's our container. Maybe, I guess that means like a daily task we can do. Decaying scrapyard. Tutorial actions 1 of 2. Actions are the primary way you interact with the world's citizen sleeper. To perform an action, click and drag your action dice to the slot. Okay. Hole dissection. Even the rustiest hole can hide valuable components and materials. Extracting them means cutting carefully and skillfully. Actions reward you with clock progress, energy, condition, or items depending on their outcome. There are 3 types of outcomes. Positive, neutral, negative. Action dice affect the outcomes as follows. Okay, so 100%, 50-50, 25, 1 and 2 as we want to avoid it. Yeah, very much like a tabletop RPG. And you kind of have like the good, neutral, bad. Yeah, it's very similar. Like to Iron Forge. I think that's what it's called. There's a lot of tabletop RPGs, like solo RPGs in particular, that have a very similar system to that, so that's cool. Then manual salvage, input dice, so we could have done them both. It's going to take some time. Engineer, I guess that gives us a +1 to our roll, I'm guessing. And then if we don't have the skill from our character, because they have endurance engineer roll and stats we could have had, you don't get a modifier to your dice. Actions display information about the type, risk level, and skill modifiers. Okay, so 1 repeatable action. I'm guessing that was the little red circle we saw. 1 is the type, either critical or repeatable. Critical action perform once. That's like story stuff. Risk, either save, risky, or danger. It's risky. So no loss if it's safe. Risky, negative outcome is okay. Danger, negative outcome means condition loss. Negative outcome can mean cryo or energy loss. So danger, you got to get a blue, you got to get an orange, yeah, I think it was an orange roll. You got to get a positive roll. Red, you got to be careful with. Okay, so skill that action requires. We get modifiers for that. Okay, yeah, modifiers to the action dice. Yeah, it's called something very similar in those. And some actions require a modifier to perform. Okay. So I guess this is just showing what we can do. Okay, so we can actually do this here. Do we start on a spicy note? So let's see. I'm curious so the cycle clock. So I kind of want to do this. 50% positive, 50% neutral. It's risky. So we don't get if we get a negative, we're in bad shape. Let's run it. Actions often progress clocks. Clocks are displayed below the actions that fill them. Okay, so that's right there. And track your actions and how they affect the world. Filling a clock means doing something Good or bad is about to happen. Some clock. Okay, so when we do all of this, we get it. Some clocks, such as tracking Dragos' debt, are cycle clocks. These clocks tick themselves once each cycle and complete without player input. Any active cycle clocks will be displayed in the information on the info for that location. Okay. So I could technically do this, right? Yeah, we don't want to do that though. These both go to this. A debt called in. Okay, so that one's... okay, so that's what this means. That just means that it's going on its own. So that's his... Dragos is tied up in something ugly, and if he misses a payment or two... Let's go for a manual salvage. Drives and navigation. In Citizen Sleeper, you will unlock drives as you discover more about yourself and the world. Drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives depending on which path you wish to take. You can track drives, and any track drive will place a yellow marker on locations that will help you pursue your goal. Access your drive via the arrow button at the top left of the screen. Okay, survive, find a doctor. Use the mouse wheel to scroll along the station, rotate with A and D, good luck. You are now free to explore. Try tracking a drive to help you survive. Look for food to keep your energy and a way up in your way to recover your condition. Fill clocks. Cycle when you're out of dice. Okay. Alright, so let's get out of here. Here's the dock. Okay, and that's how we like kind of get around. Oh, that's cool. This is the rotate is a little slow. It's kind of cool. So that's our home. Shipyard. Dock C4. Rotunda. Rotunda 2. Market. Low-end gate. And what's down here? We said this was another shipyard. Drive. Toggle tracking. You need to find a doctor. Okay. So, I guess... I don't see anything that looks... Okay, I guess this one would be the doctor then, because that has the yellow dot on it. Sure, let's go to the bright market. Danger. Ask for directions. Why wander when there are hundreds of people that live and work within the bright market? All you need is the courage to approach them. So we got to fill up this cycle. The bright market is the busiest part of Eye's lower rim, and you can find anything and everything here. The smells, sounds, and buzzing activity of the bright market makes it a dizzying place to wander, but an enticing one too. So a 2 and a 1 are kind of rough. I don't know. I'm curious if this is just like the modifier always is the dice, and then you get the roll on top. Probably not. Not quite sure. Let's see. Negative outcome. Lost in the crowd, so we didn't get any progress. Or is it just that if I put a 1 in here, well, 2s and 1s are really only for safe? Let's see. So let's find something that looks safe. After some spacers cause some trouble in the low end, Yatagon have imposed a toll for entry, so we got to crowd to leave here. We can also scroll. Okay, switch the thing back. What about the wet dock? Anything safe here? It takes several cycles to reach the stalwart belt and return loaded with scraps from old wrecks. So that's on its own cycle, I guess. I guess it's the same with this one. Merchants willing to run the gauntlet of the healing systems are rare, but those that do always return eventually. We've got 25 cryo right now. Nothing we can do with this one. We could probably do... Let's see. So let's check the shipyard. Danger and risky. So this is trying to get a ship. Doesn't look like super useful for us right now. We've got one more dice. This are going on its own. That's going on its own. We failed here, and we can't pass the gate. So let's go back to the shipyard. Let's do the safe action. Okay, so we succeeded there. Yeah, I'm about to... Maybe the odds is kind of what it shows there. I'm a little confused on it, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. All right. We're still doing good on energy, but we're out of dice, so we got to go home. And end the cycle. I'm curious if we'll still have that energy tomorrow. It seems like we need food. Yes, we are hungry, and we lost energy because of it. This time you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, that shifting skeletal ring, surrounds you. For a moment you are gone, absent from the own body, stretched out across a colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange and then extensions as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No, you feel the station, like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. Let's touch it. You find a point in the station, and you connect to it, pulse through it, follow loops and paths under and around it. You touch more points than you have fingers, and then you try. Then you have fingers, and then you try in a moment of impulsiveness to connect them. The flow passes through you so rapidly that you feel yourself being carried away with it, splitting and separating, eddying and gathering. As you do, things occur to you, things that you can't possibly know. You reach out, try to grasp them, try to touch them too. You notice a tugging feeling pulling at you insistently, as if it were a small child. Somehow it is pulling in you in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, and eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second, and you feel it waiting there. The station splayed out across your mind, a storm of connective nodes waiting to be explored. And then it's gone. Interesting. All right, so we're running on. We got to find some food. I didn't see anywhere to eat yet. Shipyard, we can't do much with. These are running on their own timers. All right, I think we got to run this. The danger one, right? We could do risky too and maybe just get through it. Because it's going to be like, what, 100%? Yeah, 100% positive. Let's start with this. Let's see how it goes. Oh, rough. All right, we're gonna do this guy then, and then we'll go work on the grave or on the shipyard. All right, so we lost a little bit of money, but we got 2 local knowledge, which is pretty good. A man corners you with endless stories about the eye. Asks for a donation and desperate to escape, you hand him some cryo. Some cryo. That seems we're kind of dying right now. I don't know if neutral should get us bonus. I don't know. Do we run it? It's a 50-50. We failed twice. Let's just let's double down. Come on. Don't screw me here. Oh gosh. All right. We got bodied. Back to bed. Back to bed. Do any of these give us food? Explore the rotunda. Yeah, we need to get some food. I'm curious if the meds, if we find those, will give us like hunger. So let's go back to here. Complete active scenes. You aren't finished with the cycle. Complete active scenes. Okay, where are these active scenes that you speak of, my friend? Oh, did we find a doctor? Next comes the call from the enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in the queue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. So this is the HAB block, a decaying habitation block. You are thankful for the tip-off that a doctor was operating out of this place, but now that you are here, you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying HAB block, they have all made the long queue gosh, I cannot read. The long queue a test of your nerve. But your options are few. Without a supply of stabilizers through this body, your body will. You suppress a shiver and shuffle forward to the front of the queue. You try to find something to distract yourself. Let's look inside. You lean against the door frame and look into the apartment. The entryway is dark, punctuated by green indicators of stacks of sealed containers. You lean in and see an amber light flickering through a far doorway, screened with plastic sheeting, beyond which blurred shapes move. The slap of the enforcer's palm against the doorway jerks you awake. Wait your turn, he growls. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway, and you catch a distant voice. Send the next one in, Toshiro. The enforcer jerks his head and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the passage sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the bright market sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above, and for a moment you are transfixed by the motion. This soundtrack is absolutely banging. I am very pleased so far. Alright, they look younger. Come, calls a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turn away. I like this poncho they got going on. It's like how you keep all the guts and stuff off as you're working on people, maybe. Replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed, you make your way across the room. The figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as if to speak. They blink and then quickly regain their composure. Please sit. They gesture to the bed, then turn to open a case of tools on the table. They're probably surprised that we're a sleeper. You sit. Sabine turns, a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. Remain still, please. Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from their expression when you first entered. Fear, recognition, sadness, unmistakably etched across their face. How long have you been on the station? They ask, the scanner still to their eyes. A few cycles. They nod. It's good you came to me. They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything. They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. Your body is dying. They say it without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. SNARP doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose to prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case, escaping. They built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. That's all corporations, though, right? Everything. You can't have any sort of tool that lasts forever. How would those companies make money? Am I right? Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which SNARP remains the sole producer of. They look up. Sound familiar? How do you know this? They shifted in their seat. You aren't the first sleeper I've encountered. You wait for more, but they go back to their inspection. They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. I'm sorry, Sabine says. And you are unsure if they mean for the cold touch of the metal or for everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm, and SNARP has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Sounds like we're going to have to get some black market stuff. Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. I know little of this is of use to you. They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say anything. Something. Sabine turns to you. I may be able to help. They sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes, hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. You saw Toshiro outside. You nod. He works for my benefactor, Yatagan. They are influential in the low end. They give me the space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds. They look away. But Yatagan has connections. Smugglers from the Starward Belt. Mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source the stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance. Sabine sits down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous, and it'll be expensive, but I think we can do it. Why help me? Sabine walks away from the window, their face dappled by the shadows of passing drones. Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead. You nod and leave, Sabine still staring out unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face, but the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. Loving the storytelling so far. This is really, really interesting. Oh, here we go. This is what we needed. We need food. Look at this guy, man. He's ready to go. The art is sick, too. I love it. Like, very American comic book style. Kind of reminds me of Old City Blues. Emphas is busy, his broad face uplit by the makeshift gas burner in front of him. With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus into a dented wok, his other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables and some red fleck dressing. The smell is incredible. You watch as he fulfills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with the bright salad and depositing it into plastic trays. A stack of chits rattles in his apron pocket as customers file past the burner, handing over payment. Well, we have a little bit of money, so we gotta approach. You join in the queue. It's mostly made of off-duty salvagers, vac suits unzipped and rolled down to expose stained vest, grubby mods, and a lattice of scars and tattoos. They discuss the best food on the eye, the best drink, comparing notes on bright market dives. Their words cut through with heavy spacer slang. Eventually it's your turn, and you shuffle to the front. Emphas speaks in a deep, even tone without looking up. First try is free. Thank him. The smell... Is this going to be like drugged food or something? Or maybe it's just he knows his food's that good as a street vendor. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks, the earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy the smoke makes your eyes water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire, and your skin hardens in its glare. I know you. You sleepers. Emphas says while he cooks, his voice deep but clear. A hard life, a lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap with piercing eyes. I know. What are we going to tell him a story of? We don't remember anything. You begin to tell him about your journey to the eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility and its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold and dark of the container and the endless cycles spent within it. Now it seems, you tell him, like some dream that you once had, but can never forget. You tell him the eye excites you and scares you, and you are unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually you tail off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time we can talk some more, he smiles. But next time, you pay. Well, that was nice of him to feed somebody he knows is barely making it here. He slams a heavy hand against the butt on the burner side and shuts it off. The roar of the flame and its impressive heat fades. Next time, then, sleeper. He waves you away and begins to oil the wok. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearm, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks. You can kind of see them here. Very interesting. You walk away, and as you do, take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste sensors light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. All right. There we go. So, plus drive. So we can go back to him now. Emphasis. So we can't do any of these actions, but fungus fan. Interesting. Okay. Looks like we met our first friend. That's for that other one. Okay, so we got some stuff to do now. Very cool. I'm digging the gameplay loop so far. It's simple, but it's narrative driven, which I really dig. All right, so we don't have any dice. We should get back more dice tomorrow. Let's end our cycle. See what wild dreams await us. Again, the skeletal ring of the station fills your mind. It sparkles with glittering lights, like stars reflected in a winter lake. It is clear, crisper than before. The threads still pull, but you remain in place, flickering in the flow. Between the threads you see bright shapes, caches of simmering light beneath transparent crystal forms. You follow the path of a thread across the ring, through these forms, then leap off into the void. You begin to understand. These are nodes and connections, a map of information, of communication. There are so many layers, so many loops that it seems almost impossible to parse. But you begin to try. Focus on the nodes. If we focus on the nodes, the thread should take us there. The nodes are glassy bright, but in all this flow, the only solid and fixed points. You approach one, a pyramid, or triangle, dimensions are difficult here, and lean close to it. Inside, shifting layers conceal a tangle of threads, a meeting point of exchange. But before you can glimpse any further, the glass clouds and hardens, cutting you off. The threads and nodes, passages, and puzzle boxes. One leads to another. There is so much here, so many answers, so many questions. All you need to do is follow the paths and open the boxes. You look out across this ghost landscape of exchange and see an opportunity. But then that insistent tugging again, pulling at you. You look down and see two lines, two threads pulling in different directions, as if they were tied around you. Take the first. The first thread leads out, away from the station, into the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. They are in a ship, and the ship is approaching ever closer with each cycle. The second thread leads you in, pulling deep into the station. Your gaze follows it this time, and this time you see something, a sphere shimmering above a strange angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing over you like a torch beam, testing you, tasting you. Gross. You open your eyes. Time is short. Yeah, so it's weird. Every time we fall asleep, it's like we're connecting into like the internals or like the energy of the station and able to kind of like interface with the mainframe or something. Very cyberpunky. All right, so we have a new cycle clock event thing. Someone is out there is tracking you, following your trail, and this one's just going to kind of go. They won't be long before they arrive. Tutorial, the cloud. Something has changed inside you. You can now access the data cloud of the eye, a network of decaying protocols and data caches. While there, you can use dice and items to access systems and extract data. But be careful, these networks are old and strange. Click the eye button at the top of the screen to toggle this view on and off. Where's the eye button? Interesting. Very interesting. So it's just, if I turn off the eye. Alright, so let's start from the bottom. Items. So we don't have any of this. Input 1, Haven Age cipher. Haven Age. I think it's Haven Age. This gate keeps traffic out of the Haven Age shipyard's internal network. The correct cipher can grant you access. Okay, how much we can do there? About this. Keynote 02. Data actions allow you to extract data from the networks of the eye. They work like dice actions, but in order to unlock them, you must match your dice to one of the displayed on the right of the action. Okay. If you have a +1 or a +2 modifier in the interface skill, you'll be given more possible dice to match. Okay, that's cool. You can only use dice that match the dice displayed. Once unlocked, the data can be extracted. So they use a dice, but it doesn't look like it uses, like, it doesn't look like it's a risk. We don't have an interface, so we can't do this, and we don't have a 4. A Haven Age member is broadcasting on the open network here, leaving them open to data extraction. Can't do anything with that one. It also seems like these might be good if we have like a particular die and it's like risky to use with something on the server, or like one of the events where it's like risky or something like that. And we're not confident on success. We can kind of come down here and use them. Like a 1 would be perfect if we had one here. Okay. And okay, so it seems like there's a lot of these. Well, let's see what we got here. So he's finishing stuff up. I wonder if we continue. He was the first guy to help us out. That one's kind of a long one. These two are going on their own. I think we're good. Steel dock plans. Interesting. So she's advancing on her own. There's something we can do with her. We can't pass through the gate yet. We are going to need to make more food. But we definitely need to eat today. Get a little bit more of our friends. Minus, okay, so plus fungus fan, plus energy. Alright, so we're good at least for another day. And that only uses food, didn't use any of our actions. Okay, so we can't do anything here. There's nothing to do here. We have to kind of wait and see what happens when those come up. Okay, so that's just the hunted one. That one's advancing on its own. His is also advancing on his own. So at the rotunda, we had this... Oh, we don't want this to happen. Better to avoid attracting attention. So we don't want to ask too many questions. Getting to the rotunda doesn't mean it's the easy places to visit. So if you like dump a whole bunch of dice in here or successfully roll, you might pick something up. We're waiting on her. Anything at the market to do? Okay, no, this is the one. Let's do this. Let's see if we finally... Okay, cool. So now we have local knowledge. So we're done here. Engaged. That would, yeah. Maybe that's why we got screwed. I don't know if it was always engaged. All right, the Brights Market, so you'll find everything. So now what does that do for us? New drive discovered. Hardware exchange. The Ort exchange. Okay, so we need to get some scrap components, and this is a way for us to get money. And then this one we can just do a dice on. 100% positive. Play the exchange. We're gonna need some money, so let's do it with our 6 die. Nice. Okay, so we got 2 towards this drive, and we got a little bit of gold, which gives us some food for the next time we need it. So I feel like that was pretty good. We got a little bit of money back. All right, let's see if we match anything on a 5. Yadigan agent. This is a 1. Has to exactly match. Keynode. This matches a 1. This matches a 3. Solheim Cipher. We need to get one of those. Haven Age, that matches a 2. Matches a 1. Another agent matches a 2. So it's really low dice for like these nodes down here, at least for this current kind of lot we've driven here. And then this was also one of those ciphers. Okay, so nothing to do up here. I think I want to just... Let's help out our friend. Let's do this. 100% positive. And this should be the faster version. Nice, we got 2, and we got some money out of it. So that's sick. Okay, so now we've got a little bit of money. And I believe that's our cycle. But now we are being hunted. The Atmos in this game is really good too, like just the background of the city. All right, so our energy's not doing great. I wonder if... Let's see, can we review the... Nothing here. Can I review the tutorial again? Because I'm curious. So repay Dagos. Build a shipyard. Build a ship mind. Eat at emphasis stall. So we can do a little bit more eating. We're paying off the deck. We're paying off the debt. As you close up, a voice echoes down the corridor towards you. Sleeper, wait up. Let's see who it is. He looks nice. A Haven Age systems engineer. Feng is coming down the corridor towards you, a wonky grin on his broad face. Hey, glad I caught you. Do I know you? He grins. You do now. He puts a hand on your arm. I've seen you hanging around. Just want to chat. You staying in that thing? He nods at the container, shaking his head. Rough. It can be hard to get a start on the eye. He looks down the passage. What was it old Erlin said? The eye opens for us all. Nice idea, but, well, not always very practical. He glances back to you. We do our best, but it isn't easy. Who's Arlen? You pass together in the main hallway. No one has told you about Arlen. He's the founder of this place. That's why it bears his name. Arlen's Eye. Haven Age should reorganize some seminars, he laughs. Not really my department, though. I'm with systems. Let's ask about Haven Age. Think of us as an administrative association for the Eye. So it's like the government, the municipalities. Depending on who you talk to, we either emerge as a response or a continuation of Andre Arlen. I'm gonna God that name. Andre Erlin's original union. Arlen, Andre Arlen's original union. He smiles. Personally, I avoid the topic. Yeah, get ready for me just to chop up all of these names. He stops you in the quiet passage. Look, that's not what I'm here to discuss. I've been seeing some unusual network activity, and, well, I know a little bit about you sleepers. I have a small proposition for you. He glances around. But this is not the place for it. I have an office just across the way. Give me a cycle or two to prepare, and then when you are settled, stop by. He lowers his voice and gives you a dark look. In truth, I need you. If what they say about you sleepers, well, they say what is true about you sleepers, there's work to be done. I wonder if he's talking about this, like, kind of nighttime, like, node connecting visuals we're having. It's also kind of cool. You get this, like, small movement with the mouse when I move around. He pats you on the back, his voice bright and his dark look suddenly gone. Stay clean, sleeper. He heads off down the passage, raising a hand in farewell. All right, another, people being pretty friendly so far. All right, these are advancing. That one's coming in tomorrow. We have local knowledge. This seems like a bad one to get. The plus and the minus. Don't see great. We have to survive one more day to get stabilizer. We have a 2, so maybe that's good for one of these nodes. I forget which one of them matches on a 2. 1, does it tell me maybe if I can do it? Match input. Sure, let's see what this is. Bypass. Extract data. Haven age data. All right. Okay, so I guess we need 2 of these. Interesting. Also kind of cool, you can see these, like, you're like on a space station. You can see like the little boats and stuff floating past. Space boats. Wet dock. Do we continue to work here? Maybe. I'm kind of, so we got more, let's see. Got a little bit more money so we can get more food. Fungus fan. Okay, that's what it is. That's funny. All right, so we're doing good on food. Your mouth stings as your sensorium sends warning signals over and over. This is good stuff. All right, so we got a 4. We need to figure out a way to increase. I guess maybe this is just going to improve when we get stabilizer, and then maybe she just keeps sourcing it for you. That's my guess. I don't think there's much to our character yet. We don't have any upgrade points. Let's just continue helping our friend, I guess. It seems like it should be worth it. Hopefully it doesn't take away any of our energy if we hit a neutral. Positive outcome, back in business. So we're almost done with this one, and we got a little bit more money, so we can keep eating. All right, and I think that is our day. And then I guess there'll be another event for our new friend Fang, who wants to utilize our specific skills. Yeah, we definitely need to figure out this whole stabilizer situation. 2 dice is hard to work with every day. All right, but so with the 2, we can probably... Oh, okay. So there's our... Okay, so there's the new event. Let's go back to the doctor, see what she has going on. The first thing you see on entering is the glint of Toshiro's implants, like a cat's eyes in the dark of the corridor. He nods you in as you arrive at Sabine's door. The entryway is still dark, and you push through the sheeting into the surgery. I have it. Sabine stands with a case open in front of them. A set of vials lined up inside, separated by foam inserts. They pick up one, rotating it in the warm light. I have no idea how you out again. Should they trail off? We should treat this with caution. It looks authentic, but I have no idea if it is really what it appears to be. I'm going to say I don't care. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but we need to be careful. Unfortunately, I'm not sure we have another choice. I don't think we do. You seem to be the only person who's helped me so far, and I am quickly declining. They just for you to sit on the bed. The stabilizer works under a similar principle to an immunosuppressant in a transplant operation, and that stops your body from ejecting the unfamiliar part of itself. In the case of your frame, the unfamiliar part is each of your biosynthetic organ groups, which over time are identified by your body as foreign material and therefore must be eliminated. That sucks. Sabine holds up a vial of would-be stabilizer. You know what's funny is I had a girl in one of my classes in college who had the name. I don't think I called her Sabine, though. I don't want to say it was Sabine or Sabini. I'll have to look up the pronunciation, especially of the recurring character, so I don't just sound like an idiot. However, unlike an immunosuppressant, the stabilizer doesn't do this by limiting your entire immune system. Instead, it re-encodes your basic biosynthetic organs with new protein chains, which act as passcodes for your immune system. The stabilizer refreshes those passcodes, keeping your frame from rejecting all of its own organs. Passcodes. It's funny, that's kind of how allergies work in real life. You know, you're missing different amino acids to break down proteins. So when you're allergic to something, it's because you're missing the way to decode that protein. In very basic terms, yes, they say. Look, what matters here is that the stabilizer should be able to encode any organic or biosynthetic matter to be accepted by your immune system. They glance away. At least if the stabilizer is genuine, the only way to know for sure is to inject the vial. They begin readying the syringe. I will start with a small dose to limit the risk. I don't have a choice. I think you are right. Sabine cracks the glass neck of the stabilizer vial and uses the syringe to extract a fraction of the liquid. They tap the syringe and you watch as if any sign might emerge from the clear liquid. You barely feel the needle, your frame registering the initial injection, but with little response. A sensation begins to spread from the site, a fizzing, trembling wave that disperses through your arm with incredible speed. Your vision goes white, and when it returns, Sabine appears encased in shards of sparkling light that slowly fade into darkness as you settle back against the bed. We just got that hit. You swim in darkness, muffled noises, like an argument heard from underwater, prickling waves of cold. You sit back up, Sabine sitting in a chair by the window, facing away from you, backlit by the glow of their slate. Awake? What happened? The stabilizer is genuine. They sit down beside the bed. I don't know how Yatagan acquired a case of this stuff, but they did. Sabine looks troubled, distracted. Yeah, it is kind of weird if this is like super controlled substance, how to get it. Although we don't really know the whole backstory of this corporation and this group she works for. You should rest some more, but you're going to have to do that somewhere else. They gesture to the door. I have other patients. Sorry. Sabine nods towards the case. I'm afraid I can't offer you any more doses. You're going to need to pay for your next dose. Silence fills the room and they return to their glowing slate. Looking around the room, it seems different somehow, as if things have moved or shifted. You wonder how long you've been out. Sabine? Nothing comes for free, sleeper. Remember that. You manage to your feet and wander out to the hallway. The queue stretches down the flickering corridor. Toshiro stands impatiently by the door and fixes you with a glare as you leave. You lower your eyes as you stumble past, somehow faintly aware of the station spinning beneath you. All right, okay, so there's our energy. We should have a little bit more dice on the next cycle. All right, so we have to pay them 100 per to kind of bump our energy back. So it seems like now we've got a way to kind of take on all of the challenges. We've got a way to sleep, which gets us more dice. We have this medicine, which returns our energy, and then or condition, and our energy we can replenish with the food. So I think we can wait a day on the food. We don't need any exchange right now. Oh, so this thing's here now. Let's see what's going on here. Buy some scrap. Most of what comes in from the Starward Belt is corroded trash, but sometimes something valuable can be found among the salvage. Unload containers. Danger? I'm not going to take that. Scrap allowance. The big stuff goes to the shipyard. The valuable stuff to the markets. They'll let you buy a few crates, but not much more. I think these minuses we don't want to get. We'll have to see. Let's do... We've got a 4. I kind of want to finish... So there's nothing to do here yet. That one's coming in soon. Let's go see what's going on with Fang. Sleeper. Fang catches your attention as you approach the Haven Age building, leaning against the bay door to the entrance. You approach. Easier to come in this way, security and all that. He gives you a look. You know. He slams a button, and the bay creaks open, blinking lights in the dark behind it. You follow Fang inside. Truth be told, I don't spend much time upstairs. This is where I work. The door hisses as it closes behind you. The bay is filled with pieces of hardware, all rigged up to the generators and diagnostic slates with things you don't recognize that glow with the blue screen light. There's a chorus of hums that blends into a single wave of static, filling the dark corners of the room. Fang leans on a server stack and gestures around you. You like it? What is all this? He taps a nearby server stack, which bleeps in response. This is my treasure trove, all dredged up from the sea of systems we call the Eye. You wouldn't believe what this place runs on. He sips over a towering block, speckled with vents. Some of these systems are from the original station. I'm going to say that's AE1. The one Solheim built. We've had to invent new components, repair things we never built, reverse engineer entire subsystems into existence. Residents here look up at the Eye and think they are seeing a constant, concrete reality, but this place is a system in constant flux, decaying and growing, collapsing into new configurations. He walks down between the hardware stacks you follow. We are keeping this place alive, but also remaking it into something new, dragging it away from those corporate origins. He stops. At least that's what I'm trying to do. He turns back to face you among the flickering machines humming all around you. I knew you could see this too, Sleeper. All these systems and sections. You can't you? I can see it. It makes sense, right? You're between here and there, between the people and their systems. You light this place up like a beacon. That's what I need. You glance around the lights, and as you do, they seem to flicker, to realign, to follow your gaze. Fang notices it too. I'm guessing being a beacon isn't always ideal when you are on the run, though. They are tracking me. So we are kind of giving off a signal. He pats you on the shoulder. Maybe I can help with that. There's a lot of old growth in this place. Subsystems I can't see. Access protocols, lost to time and decay. Secrets. A shitload of secrets. With your help, I can unlock this place. Break off the last of those ghost limbs of corporate control. He lowers his voice below the hum. Even in Haven Age, there is old growth. Those whose roots trace back into those bad old days. You hold me a judge of the past, and I'll see what I can do about that tracker of yours. He winks. What do you say, Sleeper? I don't think I have a choice. I'm in. Fang pumps his fist and claps you on the shoulder. He meets your eye. You won't regret it, Sleeper. Hopefully I don't regret it. Fang passes you a ragged-looking metal tab. A gift, he smiles. It's a Solheim cipher. I dug it up from the depths of the station. Slot that into an old network gate, and you'll be able to pull out all kinds of secrets from the nodes inside. Okay, so that's one of the things we need for that overworld view, or for that eye view. He walks you back to the front of the bay. Start by bringing me whatever you can turn up. Use that emulated mind of yours and see what's out there. Let's get a picture of how things are. Those above, he nods at the ceiling, have granted me an acquisitions budget. I can pay you for whatever useful data you bring in. I know you need it. He slams the door button again. Keep it quiet and keep it clean, Sleeper. And I'll see you soon. You step, blinking back out into the passage, those flickering lights still in the back of your mind. All right. Doing good. We're making progress. What is this? Okay, so this is just his bay now, so... So wait, can we just, give him the cipher we just got? No, it won't let us. It won't let us do that either. Scoping the systems, okay. We're almost there. I think I'm just gonna run this one. So I want to get this, I want to kind of get this done before this minus event hits. Okay, there we go. Nice. Beneath the pock-marked holes, you find hidden containers, alloy plating, and wire bundles thick as your arm, preserved in their trunking. Alright, so we should get something out of this. Dragos, let's see. You arrive into a buzz of activity at the yard. Red blinking lights flash across a vast dark shape, suspended below the dome. They flicker across scorched hull plates and bent structures, spilling from holes in the twisted shape. The cutter is huge and has been torn apart in some violent encounter. She's a beauty, isn't she? Drago stands to the side, focused on the hulking ship as it is lowered into the yard. What is it? Dragos laughs. That, my friend, is A-grade scrap. I should thank you. This place was on its last legs when you turned up, and now look at this. The ship descends slowly, its interior visible through multiple hull breaches. You struggle to gather the same enthusiasm as Dragos for this monstrous craft. You can't help but think of what became of its crew. What happened? What do you mean? He glances at you. I managed to convince our salvager friends to give me it on credit. That's what's happened. No, what happened to the ship? Not my concern, he shrugs. The ship creaks like a calving iceberg as it reaches the base of the yard. Dragos is visibly excited. I know I said you shouldn't stick around, but I'm gonna need some help with this one. The drones start to crawl over the hulk, their lights illuminating flashes of dented hull. Watching, you wonder if you arrived in a similar fashion, locked inside that container, the wreck of the SNR freighter lowered into the yard like a corpse ready to be butchered? Or was the container delivered to Dragos on its own, a womb for your rebirth into this strange station? You shudder. Perhaps if you could learn something about the ship, you might be able to trace the path that led you to this yard. Dragos squeezes your shoulder. After these past cycles, I think we are up to it. What do you think? You see the fading name of the ship emblazoned on its side. Winterlight. Let's do it. He claps you on the back. Glad to hear it. Come back in a few and we can make a start. Real beauty, Dragos repeats, perhaps just to himself. You take one last look at the shattered ship as the drones start cutting and then slip out of the yard, feeling suddenly cold in the empty passage. Alright, so it seems like we saved our friend. Clear the debt and return a favor for your first friend on the eye. You completed your first drive. Each drive completed unlocks an upgrade point to spend on upgrading your character. Access your character via the arrow menu, and at the top right of the screen. I'm not gonna lie, I think, like, to me, I don't know, are we gonna do we... Sunbathe dice action allows your energy to recover at home. Dice actions display potential positive and negative outcomes. Use scrap components at home to repair condition. That seems kind of useful. All these seem kind of useful. The -1 kind of scares me. I kind of want to get rid of that and then just kind of be like base system. I think we'll do that. That way so that we're an engineer. We don't have any negatives now. That to me just seems to make the most sense, but maybe I'm wrong. All right, so Dragos now. So we got to kind of keep going with him. This clock is a little bit longer, so we kind of want to keep helping him. We can buy some scrap there. We may want to do that. We're good on food. We don't need anything here. The low-end gate. We almost could go out there. Maybe that unlocks more of the ship. Emphasis stall. We don't need any food right now. Hardware exchange. We don't have any scrap. We don't need to give any scrap. I'm thinking maybe we buy a little scrap. It feels like we can't buy too much scrap. Plus scrap allowance, minus 20 scrap, 1 scrap item. So you can offload and, okay, so we got our stuff. And let's see, these 2s are always good for these nodes, it seems like. Matches a 3. Let's try the cipher out. Let's see what happens. Gate S7 access, and we lost our cipher. With a squawk of noise, the old gate flips open, granting access. Okay, so we turn this off now. What did that do for us? Feng's Bay. We didn't get any... Oh, did we get some data? Okay, so we can bring this to Fang now. Right? No? Any Solheim data. You dredge up. Input 1 Solheim data. Okay, so... Not sure what we do with that yet. Nothing going on here. Nothing going on here. Okay, so let's see if we can do it. Find another 2. It's a 1. I guess maybe it opened up these nodes down here. It looks like, yeah, AO7, so that's a 4 match. It's a 1 match. It'd be nice if there was a little highlighting to let you know. A Solheim daemon attempts to protect this node, squeaking out protective protocols like a mantra. Sorry, brother. I'm gonna need that data. Alright, so now we got Solheim data. So we back out. As you drift back from the node, something latches onto you, a thread strung tight around you, and it tethers you in place. A taste. The voice makes you shiver. It soars somehow distant and close behind your ear. You see a distant glint of light shut off, and then suddenly a shape is at your side. It stalks around you, circling like a shark, like a wolf. Entity unknown, astringent, processing. I want to resist. You struggle against the thread, and it tightens in response, a glittering garrote. Please hold. What the heck is that? Sentient protocol and waving. Is this the hunter that's coming for us? The thread around you thickens until it is a ring, a cylinder, a tunnel of light circled around you. It is blinding for a moment and then is gone. As it fades, you see a figure, a creature in front of you. Its strange head flickers between different angles, reading you. What are you? The shape paces around you on lithe legs, though there is no ground here to pace on. Entity, identify. Origin, serial. Cadence. The figure faces you expectantly. I don't understand. I'm just going to stay silent. Refusal. The figure's strange head rotates. Bracket signature, of and not of, a tempting interface. As the figure speaks, more threads begin to spiral from its head, thick, snaking in vine-like ribbons and flicks and wave. They approach with intent. I'm going to run. You kick off and glide away through the cloud, the threads surging after like predatory tentacles. They follow, wrapping the space around you until you are held within a web, a tangle of tentacles closing in. Stop. Hunter halts its threads, twitching. Entity, your identity is unknown. We only seek to correct illegalities. Can you confirm your legal right to sentience? I'm going to say I am a person. Incorrect. You are an entity. All at once, Hunter's head is directly in front of yours, blocking your vision. You stink of their taste. The one from the sealed dock. Hunter shimmers with fury. I will find access. I will interface. I'm going to say sealed dock. An entity hides in the rotunda. You are its puppet. Hunter extends a razor-edged thread. I will not be diverted from my task. It glows with murderous intent. We strike. You lash out with all your force, not a physical strike, but a focusing, a spike of interference leaping out like the tip of a spear. Hunter stumbles, shifts, and separates. Wake up. You open your eyes, blinking back into the station light, shaking with fear. Whoa, that was crazy. That is super cool. So now we have this hunter thing up here that's going on while we're doing this stuff. Starting to get a little crazy. All right, let's see if we can give this to Fang now. There we go. All right, so we lost one data. We got one progress on this drive, and we got a little bit more money. Very, very nice. All right. So what else do we got here? Get to know, study the winter light. So we have a lot of little stuff going on. But I think let's just finish up this day. We'll I think that's all we really can do for now. 53 credits, some data. Yeah, well, I think that's good. That was a good cycle. Even with 2 dice, we still managed to do a lot. A lot of interesting prompts. There we go. Back to a full dice load. We need to get some food. Our energy is still stable. We are still being hunted. But I think we're going to wrap up the first episode here. That was very cool. What a really interesting, immersive game so far. I didn't really know what to expect, but this is not what I'm very impressed so far with the storytelling. I thought there was going to be like more action and combat, but I like this kind of narrative-driven, decision-making kind of play style so far. But yeah, with that, we'll gonna hit some more of these drives next time and get a little bit more information on our mysterious main player character, as one may call it. If you enjoyed today's episode, as always, liking, commenting, subscribing, yada yada, all that stuff helps the algorithm, and I appreciate it nonetheless. Yeah, we're gonna do some more Citizen Sleeper next time. Really excited to start off the series, but until then, I'll catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in.